Hey man, so welcome to the New Media Academy.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you
This is
so much.
amazing.
Thank you. Listen, I heard, well, did I hear this or did I think this? I'm not sure. The fastest way to grow an audience, a huge audience online today is TikTok. Do you agree with that?
Damn straight.
Yes, sir.
Why did I know you were going to say yes?
So here's the reason why. There are three reasons why this is the case. Number one, we are creative centric. What that means is when we're recommending content on the platform, it's very much focused on showing you new content based on your interest, right? This is how the world of streaming has become. It's no longer about who you're following. It's about discovering talent. It's about discovering content. So on TikTok, we have over 60 categories. So if you're in food, if you're in sports, if you're in music, if you're in travel, if you're in any category that is comedy, you create content and we'll just match your content with the right people. Which means you can have 2,000 followers and a video with 100,000 views if you're creating good content consistently, through and through. That's why in this mentality of being creator-centric, creativity-centric, to drive growth to entertainment or edutainment content, without the social narrative and without the editorial narrative, we've created a clean environment that allows people with creative mindsets to grow so fast.
Sweet.
That's the reason.
And it actually awesome. It's the reason why we actually, want to partner up with you guys, because our goal and our mandate, when we set for ourselves, is to grow a new crop of creators in the region. Now, whether those are individuals or whether they're organizations or entities. But I got a couple of other notes on top of that, and tell me if they're right or wrong. One, the number of users on the social network, right? Do you guys call yourselves a social network?
We officially call ourselves a short form video platform. The reason that is because of the content. So when we don't have the content that says, hi, today I'm here having coffee with Rashid, this is in the now. We're not in the now. The content that you can see on TikTok now and in 6 years will resonate in the same way.
Amazing.
Right? And all those animated text with music in the background is not on TikTok either. There are 4 elements of a TikTok video: the story, the act, the person, music, and what we call a sticker, which could be a text or a filter or anything. Those are the 4 elements. You take any of those elements out, it's not a TikTok video anymore, right? You can use at least, so the firm ones are story and people. If that's not there, it's not TikTok. The add-ons are music and stickers.
I read some numbers about there being over 2 billion users on TikTok. I read something about 300 and something million downloads in Q1 alone this year, a tremendous growth. I read something about 2 months ago, I don't know if this figure is correct, but it blew my mind. Something around a billion downloads just in June, which is 2 months ago. We're still in August, and a billion downloads out of 3 countries: India, China, and the US. I mean, my God, these numbers blow my mind. So it tells me that audiences are there. So you absolutely want to be there, right? Are these numbers correct?
So today when we look at TikTok, the reason why it's growing so fast is 2 things. Number one, I think we cracked the code on culture and narrative. We captured the culture of the Gen Zs and the young millennials. We are a platform for them, for their language, and they drive that language. And so that's number one.
And how do you define Gen Z?
So, and I think it's of two layers: mindset and age. But I say mindset because sometimes I consider myself Gen Z.
Oh, we've got all the team that's working with us here at the New Media Academy. They're all Gen Zs, man. We made sure.
That story. But that's one thing. The second thing is, when TikTok started 2 years ago, it was called Musical.ly, remember? And Musical.ly was music and basic dance. And when TikTok took over and started the diversification plan to get more creators and to get more topics into play, we inherited that big thing. And there was big perceptions from a lot of people. No, I can't do TikTok. I don't know how to do a TikTok. It's not for me, it's for my niece and nephew. Okay, and then COVID came in. And sometimes you say, in bad times, you need to look at the positives. And all of digital grew, and obviously we grew as well. But what happened is people started trying TikTok. And the beauty of that is you open the app and you're like, I can do this. Like that moment, the I can do this moment, is what TikTok is today. Because everybody can be a creator. I'll give you a perfect example. When we started working on fashion in November, we said there's no way we can do this because it's so polished. It needs to be so clean. It needs to be so set up. And we said, no, but let's take the TikTok trends, like all those transitions in clothing, all this synchronization, lip syncing with music. Let's turn fashion into that. You go into TikTok now and everybody's doing transitions and tricks and they're jumping onto shoes to change the whole outfits and they're doing fast makeup with hand moves and, on sync with the beat. We redefined the narrative.
I had my little cousins and my little nephews and all them. So Aiden Al-Awadhi, Sami Abdel Salam, Reem Al-Bastaki. These guys are all under 13. Man, they are superstars. And for the last couple of years, they've been talking about TikTok, and the rest of the family is like, what are you guys doing in the corner of the house? But here's what I have to say, man. Listen to people under 14 a lot more.
You have to be 13 and up to be on TikTok, obviously, like the older industry. But we've built so many safety features for parents. So we said, if you're a parent and you have a child and you want to give them TikTok, whether you want to put the right age or wrong, it's like our app is 12 plus on the app stores. Our legal setup is 13 plus. But we give the power to the parent to control their children's accounts with parental control, the number of hours, the words that can be censored out of the comments, the disabling of the comments, disabling of duets. Look, to build a creative platform, the number one priority before working with talent and content is environment. So if we're able to build a safe and positive environment, we're going to nurture creativity. Content will come.
Absolutely.
So that becomes a very big focus. And what we inherited from that generation, our key game is let's level up. Let's get more people in. Let's get the elderly in. Let's give the user the power to control the environment. So on TikTok, if you don't like what you see, you tap on the video, you say not interested. You tap on the video, you say report, right? That power today allows us to work with the community to build that environment. Yeah. And then our game plan is to build creator pools and creator communities across categories. Yeah. And eventually work with someone like the New Media Academy that's also building an engine to nurture talents. It's a win-win to the industry.
Absolutely. And look, for us, we keep telling everybody, and one of the first things that we're doing is this exclusive webinar for government entities in the UAE. And, we've been having this conversation with everybody saying, look, you got to go where the audiences are. You got to make sure that when you have a content strategy, it includes all types of audiences, all the demographics, whether their age, whether their background, whether their interests and predominantly interest-based. And when you look at TikTok, a lot of interests are blowing up. We talked about comedy, we talked about music. So that's one of the reasons why we're doing that, and a lot more in store. One thing that I do tell everybody as well, by the way, Rami, is TikTok is still at the beginning of its life. And I keep saying, imagine if you knew when YouTube first came out or when Instagram first came out, and the people that did come early, the early adopters, look how huge they are right now. So we keep telling everybody, especially in the government, get on right now because it's still early and you could still blow up very quickly.
Absolutely. Look, the beautiful thing about being in such a situation or this position is when you try to create something different and it works and it clicks with generations, you start saying we're in the business of changing the narrative, right? And in that narrative, we have to play a very big role in teaching people what that narrative is, right? We have to be part of the transition. It's not a game of just saying, look, we have 2 billion users, right? It's a game of saying we want to create more content. And if you look at the Middle East, there's so much amazing potential. It's mind-blowing how much potential there is. And I say it's potential because I feel the scalable projects. Look at the number of series, the number of movies, the number of songs, the number of stand-up gigs that happen. Compared and index that to global, that's the potential. there's the people, and now there's a chance to build the infrastructure. So when we're thinking of this as TikTok, we want to use TikTok as the house of talent to be discovered within the content industry. So when we're putting our hand in your hand, we're accelerating this process, and we're scaling this process, and we're going to build an infrastructure for any creator who wants to create something to say, I can do this. There's the support system that's made to make this happen. And if we're able to do that and scale freestyle, parkour, football freestyle, stand-up comedy, short film, music performance, production, screenwriting, lyricists, if we can scale all of that, we're going to build a new economy in the Middle East and scale it. Back in the day, I remember when we were being raised, we were raised on plays. We were raised on series from Kuwait, from UAE, from movies from Egypt, the orchestra, the culture. Like, we had a very powerful culture, and now the tone of that culture has changed. But the people who were back at building the basis of that culture are still in the industry. So we need to educate them, and we need to get the younger kids to tell them what to do, to get them to transition. It's going to be a beautiful journey. But at the end of the day, what needs to happen is we need to come together as entities of the community. TikTok is not going to be able to do it alone. New media academy is not going to. There needs to be the full ecosystem. There needs to be the platform. There needs to be the tech. There needs to be the know-how. There needs to be the infrastructure. All of that needs to come together. When that happens, we build an industry. And that's what we're excited about.
No, it's superb. I remember when I spoke to you first and I said, hey, we've got the academy off the record before we announced, and we said, we want to work with you guys to build everything that you're doing. Because I know you guys are big on learning and education as well. And I know that historically, so I don't know if a lot of people know this, but historically, even musically, the guys who established musically originally established an education or a learning platform, which turned into musically, which is amazing because it's a full circle, right? And for us, it's very big. We want to make sure that people learn the best habits to create as much content as possible. And we say, for us, it's very important that we bridge the gap between creation and consumption, because the creation of Arabic content specifically, and we have a huge focus on Arabic content,
of course,
extremely low. So we talk about 1% of content online is Arabic today, and yet the consumption is just phenomenal in the Arab world, right? And we need to bridge that gap. We need to bridge that gap with you and with 100 other partners.
I'll give you some insights on this. This is how much potential there is, and I think you nailed it when you said there's so much demand and not enough supply, right? When we started our diversification plan, we started with food. People loved it. Who doesn't like content food? Then we brought in fashion. People loved it. Then we brought in sports. Obviously, people loved it. Then we brought in education. EduTalk, which was very popular in India, which we call LearnTalk here, is one of our biggest categories. We have nurses, doctors, motivational speakers, authors, teachers. We now have a partnership with LAMSA, and what they wanted to do, so LAMSA is very well known for educating early child development. And we said, yeah, but we don't have kids under 13. And they said, okay, why don't we target young parents? We are an industry where parents are young. We are in a region where people are under 30 or under 35. So why don't we focus on that? So we build a community of teachers led by them because they know the narrative, and we're going to scale this. And what I told them is, they said, yeah, but show me examples of how this has been done. I said, I have 0 examples. You're going to define the narrative. And it's going to happen because here are the examples of all the doctors and all the nurses and all the motivation speakers and there are people who teach English on TikTok. In 1-minute videos, just imagine that. So the format has changed, the narrative has changed, and there's so much demand. You give them content, they're going to consume it. You level up the content, they're going to love it. And eventually it's all going to come together.
All right, listen, man. People are wondering this next question. How do they blow up on TikTok quickly?
So we just launched on TikTok something called, if you go to TikTok Arab Creators, we have a page that's dedicated for creators that has over, I think today it has over 20 or 25 tutorials, and that's going to scale. The latest
Open to everybody?
open to everybody. The last 9 videos we posted are videos of us giving those tips. So here's the bottom line. If you want to, so when you want to become a content creator, it's like when you go to the gym. You're gonna do your first workout, you're gonna be dead. But you look at the mirror and nothing's changed, right? And then in 12 weeks, if you keep training, in 12 weeks, you can build form, you can build a six-pack, you can lose your weight. That's 12-week window. That's the physique science. This is facts. In content, it's the same thing. So when we tell people to come to TikTok, we say, come to TikTok and do 3 things. Number 1, define what you want to do on TikTok. What do you want to talk about? Say sports. Okay, what in sports? I want to talk about moves. I want to talk about food. I want to choose your subtopics and your topic. Number 2, keep producing at least 4 videos a week. And you want to do 4 videos a day? Be my guest. Content on TikTok is like fuel in the car, right? The only difference is we don't get full.
And by the way, I've heard stats about how long people spend on TikTok. And it's the same with me. When I get on, man, somebody has to, like, my wife
Here's
has
another stat for you. 81% of people consume content on TikTok with video. It's not a multi-screen platform. People are coming to actively consume content on TikTok. So find your narrative and keep producing. And this video didn't do well, this video did well. Sometimes you'd have a bad practice at the gym.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're tired.
Yeah.
So be it, keep producing. That's the second thing. The third thing, I call it the 70-30 rule. If you're a creator, you want to be known for your personality as well. It's not just about the cool content. People need to connect with you as a person. And there are 2 tips to this. So the 70-30 rule is 70% of your content needs to be on the topic that you've chosen. 30% of your content should be part of 2 things. Number 1, you participating in challenges and coming up in a way that brings your personality to life. A sticker, a meme, a dance, whatever it is, just bring your personality to life. Because if people fall in love with you, psychology, they're gonna fall in love with your content as well, right? And the second thing is go live. When you go live, you can talk to the consumer and reply to the comments and do all of that stuff. Because on the video form, you're performing. On live, it's a meet and greet.
Sure.
Right? So there's that balance. So first, choose your content. Second, be consistent and engage with the audience by showing them your personality, by going live with them, by replying to their comments. And the fourth tip is keep in mind that if you're a creator, you're part of a community. So if someone's doing similar content, talk to them, comment to them, share their content, and build that community. I'll give you a case study. Confet is a rapper in Bahrain. He came to TikTok and he said, I need to blow up, what do I do? We said, I don't know, you're a rapper, do a rap song. So he went and he came back, he did a dance, and here's what he mentioned in his dance. Fortnite, dab, whoa, like, dance. Like everything that's happening on TikTok, he did in one video. 51,000 videos and 51 million views later.
Wow.
He became the CEO of the Fortnite dab, and he just launched the song now. Because he was connected with the community. All the community started. It's not because they just loved the song. Obviously, it was a great combination. But he had that relationship with them. So when you're part of a community, you grow faster. There is no competition.
Here's the other thing that I would say, and this is probably something that you guys are thinking, maybe a lot of creators aren't thinking right now, but I feel like sonic branding, audio branding is going to be huge because of the features that you guys have, where you can put an original song on and people can use that song over and over again. And specifically, just a couple of days ago, my brother, who's a musician, has a song out, and I swear until last week he had, I can't remember, a couple of 100 uses of his song. And then 2 days ago, and he's got this song, Dance Like It's Your Birthday. It was a birthday song. And his family took that song and they did a video in a fried chicken store. And they had, I think, 6 million followers. And now that song has been used tens of thousands of times just in the last couple of days. So big tip for everybody over there who wants to have another element of branding, sonic branding, create your own song, associate that with yourself, and then let people use that song in various formats. So I don't know if you guys do that.
You know what we call that? Emotional trigger. Right? Here's the thing. When you're watching transitions, when the move is in sync with when what you see is in sync with what you're hearing, the joy is real. Like that, like I had once in a presentation, I said, this is the power of audio. If you go to the Rocky scene where he was running up the, you've seen those videos when they remove Eye of the Tiger and you hear him going, the whole context changes. So the power of audio is great. Savage Love, you just gave that example. That song that was created by an unknown became a Billboard hit chart by Jason Derulo. So, and there's a lot of examples like that. And we see a lot of synergy with the music industry. And what we're saying here is we can build habits with that. Like take when COVID came and we did the wash your hands. We asked the musicians to wash their hands for 20 minutes and sing while looking at the camera. Everybody started washing their hands. Like you just build that. And when people stayed at home and we wanted to get them to get moving, we got the football players of Al Ahli and Al Jazeera and Al Hilal. We said, you know what? Here's the toilet paper, do the kippy up. And let's see what happens. Everybody started doing that. So you put that experience, that emotional triggered experience, and then you try to build habits for good, for fun, and for people. And
it all works out. I want to ask you about something I read a couple of days ago about this fund that was established, and I think it's for the U.S. to invest in creators and in content in the U.S. Is there any of that coming to the region? That's question number one. And question number two is, if it is, and if you're considering it, or if you're not considering it, we'd like you to consider it for the region. We'd like to speak on behalf of the region, and we want to say that we want to put our hands in your hands. We're happy to look at even matching that amount if you bring it to the region so that we can invest in content creators over here, because that's what we need to do.
So I'll tell you three things that we're communicating as public. So number one, as a company, we're here to stay. And we are very committed to what we're doing as a hub for creators and creativity first. The mission of inspiring creativity to bring joy. The industry today demands that when people are creating content, they monetize. That's how the internet is working. So that model is going to come. We are defining the right model that you want to introduce to the market, and different markets have different economics. So what is the right model that we're going to bring here? We're going to bring it here because we are in the game of accelerating scale, and that's what we want to do. So when we get the news, I'm going to knock your door. And in the spirit of the partnership that we're doing, all of the dimensions of building the upcoming generation, whether it's by building their talent, or ability to scaling their talent, or funding their talent and their work, is going to be part of the bigger formula moving forward. So everything you're seeing that we start in international markets is going to come under the umbrella of those 2 or 3 points that I've just mentioned. So yes, amazing. It's going to happen here first.
Yeah, I'm going to make a bold prediction, and I'm going to say that the Arab world in the next month and a half or two, I'll say 2 months, in the next 2 months, is going to do some stuff on TikTok because of us that's going to rock the world of content. I'm going to make that prediction.
I have a very strong feeling this is going to happen too. I don't know why. It's very real.
In the spirit of partnership, which we talked about, in the past, I'd stand up and I'd shake your hand. Now it's like, post-COVID time and everything like that. So I do want to give you a little bit of a elbow bump to say, man, yes. We're super excited to be on this journey with you guys. We're here for you guys for whatever you guys want, and we're here for you guys, whatever you guys want, because it's all about the creators, no matter who you are, and we're here for you guys. So thank you so much, Armin. This was amazing, man.
This was real talk.
Awesome. Please come back, man. We'd love to hear more.
I'll be here every Sunday if you want to.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Fantastic.